Welcome to the Engaged by Design podcast, where we help you engage more learners more effectively. I'm Michael Cottam, joined again by my co-host, Dr. Vernon Smith, and we are in a special place called Studio E at Ensign College in Salt Lake City, Utah, with our special guest, Dr. Bruce Kusch, president of Ensign College. In part 2 of our conversation with President Kusch, we get to talk about the 3-year degree and the changes that are coming to vocational education and the future of higher education in Utah. Let's get back into the conversation right where we left off.
You know, Ensign, of course, itself, one of the meanings is it's a standard. Mm-hmm. It is the place where you can look to. If you're in a battle, you look to the standard, to where to go, where to organize, and things like that. But right now, Ensign College, I would say, is at the forefront of higher education in the United States. And I'm saying that as a higher education, background of things. Yeah. Just now, here's a statement. We'll talk about a little bit more with this about going to the 3-year degree. But in Inside Higher Education and a Hanover research study that came out just this week, said some 37% of all university presidents and 18% of community college leaders expressed the interest in adding a 3-year bachelor's degree. And you did it, when I was part of a consortium, right? So this is back in, I'm looking here, 2021. It was called the College in 3 Project. Now, let me read some of the folks that were out there, that were in the field right here. So if we're lining up at the starting line, here's the folks that are there. I was at American Public University System. I was the provost. Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Merrimack College, New England College, Northwood University, Portland State University, Slippery Rock University, the University of Minnesota at Rochester, the University of North Texas, the University of Texas at Rio Grande, and the University of Wisconsin at Oshkosh and Utica College. These were all, I was part of this consortium, and we were working on getting a 3-year degree and a bachelor's degree there. I was working particularly on a 3-year cybersecurity degree. And to get that, it was going to be 90 to 96 credits, depending, but it had the key knowledge units that were based on the National Security Agency. So you really didn't need these other things. However, we're working on this, we're getting this, and before all of that happens, guess who jumps out there?
Yeah.
Ensign College.
Yeah, and BYU Idaho.
Yes, at the same time. Right. And it was just a remarkable thing. I mean, it was, it made the news, and these are decent places, and we were working on it. What were those barriers that you overcame in this? Because I'm sure there were a lot, but it is amazing. You were the first.
Yeah, so we started with online, right? With degrees, online degrees. And so our relationship and our involvement with Pathway is a little different than BYU Idaho's. But we were both on the online side with getting these degrees moving forward. Everybody was in line about these online degrees. I'm not trying to be clever here, but everybody was on the same page.
The gold rush, right? Yeah.
Because we saw the blessing that it would be for these students. And we also realized that, and so I want to state very clearly, these 3-year degrees are not compromised in any way. What we did was we removed electives. We didn't compromise on general education. We didn't compromise on the disciplines. And in fact, for us, we integrate skill development in the general education curriculum as well. So we have what we call college-wide capabilities of the professionalism and technical skills and communication skills and teamwork and leadership, and those things that employers really want that they say a lot of their graduates don't have, right? That's all integrated. So, we said, look, if we can't with 90 credits prepare students in a really powerful way to go into the workforce, there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so everybody got on board with this. And so what we also find and have found is that if it works in the Pathway environment for us, it works for our students here. And so we had faith and courage that we could move this forward and do it for campus. And we were ready long before our accreditor was.
Oh, no.
That was
I
one
know
of the
that.
challenges. that
I
we got
was
into.
off talking. Mine was the Higher Learning Commission at the time,
Yeah.
and they were saying, Vernon, there's a reason that the bachelor's degree is 20 credits, and I said, and that reason is, well, because the bachelor's degree is 120 credits.
Because
That was,
of a retirement program
exactly.
many years ago, right?
Exactly.
So we were confident that we could move forward. And, kind of from the beginning, now we didn't talk about this openly, really, but from the beginning we thought, if we're going to do 90 credit degrees, we're going to do 90 credit degrees.
All right.
We're not going to sort of dip our toe in the water and say, well, we'll keep the 120. So that we have to right now for international students. 90 credit degrees aren't approved yet for international students, but we hope that's coming.
Okay.
But we thought there's no if we believe this is the right thing to do, and we did, then part of what a leader has to do in that case is you've got to have courage, and you've got to be a little stubborn. And now I will also say that our size made it much easier than if we were a large institution, and our faculty were all supportive of it.
That's an amazing statement.
So we didn't face some of the obstacles and pushback that other institutions have encountered. So that's one of the reasons why we were able to, do it quickly, because we didn't have internal resistance and internal naysayers that we had to deal with. And I for an institution that says no, 90 credits isn't for us, that's their decision to make. I'm not suggesting that everybody should do that. For us, it was the right thing to do. For our students, it was the right thing to do. For our stakeholders, it was the right thing to do. And, just like with 7-week blocks, there's no looking back. This is it. This is how we, this is how we do it here. And it's the same thing with 90 credits.
And even when you made that change, you didn't change the religious studies requirements, right?
No, we didn't.
We're still disciples of
still-
Christ.
As a
right?
faith-based institution, that's part of your mission,
It's still
right?
14 credits of religion credit. There were some that said, well, gee, if it's 90 credits, should we think about fewer religion credits? And I said, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to take that proposal to the board.
Not your board.
Nope.
No, I don't think they would be
I'm not gonna do
looking
that.
kindly on that,
Yeah.
especially given your mission. I mean, it fits the mission, right?
Yeah.
And
It's not. It won't be an inconvenience for students.
no, actually, it's actually building the reputation, the brand of understanding that a graduate of Ensign College has a moral compass, that they're ethical in their thinking, and that they have a solid base of which to interact
Yeah.
with and serve others
Yeah.
in that part. Now, talk about your accreditor. Now, I had those conversations with my accreditor, and they were still pushing. Finally, we pushed, and it got through.
Yeah.
But after Ensign. But talk about those conversations you had with your accreditor.
Yeah. So, initially our 3-year degrees were considered that they were part of a pilot program.
Right.
And on at least 2 occasions, I had a conversation with our accreditor, pleading our case to say, 1, can't we get these things off pilot status? And 2, can we accelerate the approval for offering these degrees on campus? And it just took some time. It took some time. Timing is everything. It took some time. There was a change in leadership. There was a much more favorable view of moving forward. And with that, we got pretty rapid approval. And
Which is great, because, it made the Northwest Commission just really take the leadership of all the
It did.
traditional regional accreditors.
yes,
And they were out ahead, and it was, again, from my perspective of looking at it from the East Coast at that time,
Yeah.
it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But I knew Ensign. I said, yes, would that be something that they would do? Yes. Would BYU Idaho do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a strong commitment on the part of the commission to be innovative and to be forward-thinking. And and I can say that with personal knowledge for two reasons. One, because of our experience in my role as president of Ensign College, and two, I'm a commissioner.
Oh, that also helps.
Okay.
So, you can have those conversations, which, understanding this, I'm going to go back to something you were talking about. Sometimes folks don't necessarily say, well, students just don't go to college for a job. They go for something else. Mm-hmm. Do you have a thought about that?
Yeah. So my response, my cynical, maybe a little sarcastic response is, so who says? Who says that's the case? Ask parents, ask students. There was a study by Titan Partners, I think, a few months ago, about what their thinking was about a 3-year degree, and it was overwhelmingly positive in the feeling of, if we can get our students through college in 3 years, we save a year of tuition, they gain a year of earning, they leave school with less debt, and they begin their careers. And if they want to go to graduate school, they can prepare to go to graduate school. These are accredited degrees, and I think particularly with the groundswell of acceptance of these now, I don't think there's going to be problems getting, for students getting jobs and doing the things they want to do. Just last week, I had a conversation with the senior partner of one of the big 4 firms, and I said, "What do you think of our 3-year degrees?" And his response was, "I think it's terrific." And I said, "Would an Ensign College graduate in accounting with a 3-year degree, would that prohibit them from getting hired by your firm?" They said, "Absolutely not." And so, that to me was a tremendous endorsement of what we're doing and what other schools will do if they can move forward. But we were able to do it because of mission fit, and because our faculty saw the benefit of this, because we all get applied education, we all get prepared for work, we all get, who needs 30 credits of stuff that isn't really going to contribute. And as I've talked to people, they've said, yeah, I'm going through the electives that I took, and they're adding up all these electives that were fun, but college should be fun, it should be enjoyable, but people go to school to be prepared for work. And let me also say, with our general education, I think we are giving students an opportunity to explore and to develop character. And we have humanities, we have the sciences, we have, English, of course, and math, and a robust general education curriculum. So is it the same as what they might get at a large R1 institution? No, but it's all integral to what we're trying to do to prepare students.
One of the things I notice is this harmony that exists. What you've done is you've aligned your curriculum, you've aligned your hearts and minds of everyone, and when that comes together, that harmony of, it's not just me, it's not we, it's us, and the us becomes the most important thing.
Yeah.
And you've come to something very special.
Yeah. Well, I talk often borrowing, Mosiah chapter 18, verse 21, hearts knit together in unity and in love. And again, when you have that, when you have a commitment to a mission, it's, we feel like it's this way at other CES institutions too. This is a job. It's not a calling, but it's not a calling, but it's more than a job. I mean, and we feel a deep commitment to these students and a deep commitment to the institution. And, I made the comment not long ago, when I came here 10 years ago, I knew about the college, and now I know the college. And there's a difference. And the quicker that a new employee can come to know this place, the more effective they can be.
And 10 years, the average president is about 4 years. The average presidency is about 4 years.
Yeah.
You've been here associated with the, coming up 9 years, in a month, but, this is a longer term. How has that helped you with your change process and reaching that vision that you saw?
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful for the time that I've had because it's taken longer to get everything done than I thought it was going to take.
It's always that way in higher education.
I mean, I didn't know how long it was going to take exactly, but, I can be a little impatient at times, but maybe patience is one of the things I've learned too, is about timing. And, you set the vision, you make sure that you have the right people in the right places, and you continue to talk about it, and you continue to help people understand why we're doing the things that we're doing, because we have a rather unique model with the curriculum and just the way things work with Pathway, because of our relationship with Pathway and with the church. Our budget situation is different than what it might be at other places.
Yes.
But and so we're very blessed and very fortunate to have the support of the Board of Trustees that allows us to do the things that we're doing in the way that we're doing them.
Absolutely. Michael, I'm trying to think of...
I think we go to
definitely
future.
need to go to the future, yeah.
Yeah.
Move on to the future.
So you've made huge strides in 10 years. If you look 3 or 5 years out, what do you see coming? What are the challenges and opportunities you have coming?
Yeah, so, our online population is going to just continue to grow. And for us, we can, however big it gets, we're able to.
You can scale up to it.
We can scale up to it. But one of the things that we're very excited about is that we will be launching a vocational education program this summer. Training. We're going to start with training electricians.
Okay.
And we have some space on campus that is being converted now into classroom space. And we're going to start, like I said, training electricians. We see that evolving into heating and air conditioning and maybe some plumbing, and eventually a construction management emphasis in our business management degree, where we're training supervisors. We're not training general contractors. We're training supervisors on job sites and things like that. And we're really excited about that. The reception to that concept has been so positive because there's a shortage of tradespeople.
Yes.
And for those that are working
nationally and in Utah.
Yes, and planning to retire, the replacement rate is far below what is necessary. So we are certainly hopeful that Ensign College introducing a vocational education program will be very positively received, and we'll have young people say, maybe I don't want to study accounting, but I'll go be this. I'll go be an electrician, because I can make a really good living being an electrician. And
in some ways, it's a little more protected from AI to be some of the hands-on and some of the trades
it absolutely is. And and AI is another thing in terms of the future. We've got to continually make sure that we're relevant and we don't get obsolete and get surprised. And we're doing some things. I'm confident that we're gonna have the right answers for this. But my word.
Yeah,
I mean,
all technologies it's moving so fast, and it'll reach into every field.
I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
It's definitely an acceleration or hastening, whatever we want to call it, right?
Yeah.
That's going on right now. One thing I've heard is, and I've actually made this up, was that going into the trades is like what it used to be going to law school. if you go to the trades right now, you actually have more of a future in some ways than you will. Because if you're a lawyer, frankly, that you are in danger with AI.
Yeah.
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 A lot of the work.
So there are, there's careers, there's livelihoods that are threatened, certainly. And I think that my feeling about AI is that over time we're going to figure out. It's not going to be. It may not be as destructive to some things as we think, but there will be new opportunities emerge. Right. I mean, I was in Silicon Valley and lived through the introduction of, the World Wide Web and the internet and everybody trying to
everything
figure
changed.
out, and everything changed. And look at the industries that have been that were spawned by that. And the same thing will happen with AI. I think in some way,
just so
based
early.
on it's early. we're early stage, but it just sort of exploded.
And if you're out there and you're a little bit worried about AI, would Ensign College be a place you say, I want to go reskill? I want to do that.
Sure.
Would Ensign College be the place to do that?
I mean, we're including that. We're integrating that into our, certainly our computer science stuff. But it's going to be everywhere. It will be everywhere in our curriculum, because students need to leave knowing how to thrive in an AI world, and knowing how to use the tools, and so they'll be prepared.
Absolutely.
We've been saying with multiple guests, we've kind of come to a statement around, is AI going to replace your job? It will, unless you let it make you better.
Yeah.
You have to grow. You have to change. You have to be able to use it.
If you don't stay current in anything that you're doing, you'll find yourself on the outside looking in. You'll become obsolete, and you'll become obsolete pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So that's a big challenge over the next few years. Any other big visions you have for what's coming?
You're here first,
Yeah. I mean, nothing in terms of programs and things like that. I mean, we have a new commissioner now, so maybe there'll be
you have a brand new commissioner.
Elder James Rasband will start as of April 1st, and maybe there's things that get explored that haven't been. I don't know. No. What I know is that when we do our part, the Lord does His, and opportunities come that we might not even imagine. Now, people have asked, from time to time, and so there's certainly there's no truth to what I'm going to say, but people say, well, Bruce, will Ensign College ever have athletics? And my response is, look, if BYU can get a medical school, maybe there's hope.
Maybe, that's right.
But I say that facetiously, tongue in cheek.
Go Lions.
We won't have athletics, but
doing that. And how much will athletics be relevant for the future?
Yeah. But here's what I know. I know that we're led by prophets, seers, and revelators. Just yesterday, when Elder Rasband was introduced in board meeting, and you're there, and the first presidency is there, and 3 members of the Quorum of the 12, and the presiding bishop, and the Young Men's General President, the Young Women's General President, the Relief Society General President, member of the presidency of the 70, and a member of the general authority that works in priesthood and family. And you just sit. We don't sit around the table. We sit back. And because we're not voting members of the board.
Right. That's how board of trustees work.
But we sit back and we watch this, and we observe this, and we receive counsel, and we listen to opinions, and we listen to expressions of support, or expressions sometimes of concern or of encouragement. And it is a unique vantage point to watch prophets be prophets. As proposals come, as they ask questions, no one should have any concern at all that the church is in great hands. It's in wonderful hands. and will continue to be so.
It's so wonderful. And Michael, would you ask
I'll do the last question.
the
We'll go
final
with the last
question?
question.
But, you know, before we do that, we want to thank you for taking time to do this and actually sharing these very personal insights about how your job works and where you're going. They talk, if we look in the scriptures, it says, by their fruits you shall know them. If you look at the innovation that is going on at Ensign College, and we'll say in the educational system at large, these are the fruits that are just completely maturing, and it's evidence that's right before your eyes, and that's what I just want to bring out. Yeah. That here's the evidence, here's the fruit right here.
I was just talking with someone just before we began, one of our employees, and the way that I can describe particularly these last 6 years or so, it's been a sacred experience. It's been exhilarating. It's been, but it's been sacred because of what the Lord has wrought here, what He's allowed to happen here, what He's helped us do here. We don't have a lot of excess FTE. Like we have no excess FTE. It's very lean.
That way.
We're very lean.
Yes.
But what I have observed is that the Lord has magnified our talents. He's magnified our abilities, and it's felt like a loaves and fishes experience, where people have been able to do more. Just like our students realize that they can do more than they ever thought possible, our employees accomplish more than they probably ever thought possible. And one of the other things that I want to pay tribute to, and this is one of the things that has been one of the miracles, frankly, of Ensign College, is that we have nearly 40 senior missionaries serving on our campus. And they come called, they come, some volunteer, and we could not do the work that we do without these senior missionaries. They are success coaches, they are career coaches, they help us in so many ways in career services and with. It's just it's a long list of the contributions of these senior missionaries. And so not only are they contributing, but from a very temporal standpoint, if we had to replace have that many FTE, we couldn't do it. We would never be able to afford or ask the board to fund, And so those 40 senior missionaries probably amount to 30 FTE, for example. So, it's pretty easy to do the math.
Oh, yeah.
And to know that it's millions of dollars that they are, their contribution is the equivalent, the economic equivalent. And that's another part of the miracle. I've had senior missionaries approach me and say, we've been thinking about a mission and we'd like to learn about Ensign College. One of our senior missionaries here was someone that I was in the mission field with as a young missionary many years ago in Guatemala. We worked in the mission office together. And one day my wife and I were on our way to devotional. This is when we had him in the assembly hall. And we were walking along right in front of the Family Search Library. And there comes this former missionary friend, and his wife. And he's now serving here as a senior missionary.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't by accident.
No. It's great.
That's not we've had those things time and time again. People just calling and, the Lord working on their hearts and minds to say, how about Ensign College? And so for that, we're very grateful. And it's allowed us to do things that we would have never done otherwise.
Absolutely.
So of all the things we've talked to and we bring it down, I want to ask you one question, and that is, if you could boil it down to one thing, how do you engage more learners more effectively?
How do we engage more learners?
Yeah, more learners more effectively. If you could boil all that down into one big
engage
thing.
more learners more effectively?
Yeah.
It's a big question.
We have to help them understand that there is a difference between being a student and a learner.
Yeah.
A student waits to be acted upon. A student goes to class and says, I wonder what the teacher's going to do today, right? And a learner prepares to come to class to say, I can hardly wait to share what I've learned with my peers, with my teacher. And they dig in and they take initiative and they take responsibility for their learning. And to the extent that we can help students do that and have a faculty and a learning environment that fosters that, we'll engage more learners and they'll learn more deeply. They have to, we have to help them understand the connection between worthy living and the Holy Ghost and how that can accelerate and deepen and enhance their learning. And that's one of the things we can do here. You know, we are expected to integrate the gospel into everything that we do here. Well, that's if students will open their hearts and embrace that, they'll be more engaged and they'll learn more deeply. And we just want to get better and better and better at that.
It's consecrated work. I love it.
It is.
Love it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
It's my pleasure.
Engaged by Design.
My pleasure.
That answer, I think, is one of the best ideas I've ever heard for engaging students and moving from the passive state to becoming passive student to an engaged learner. That's wonderful. Thank you again for your time. We look forward to maybe having another conversation in the future, but also to the great things that we're going to see with Ensign College, certainly in its national visibility. I'm sure people are starting to pound on your door asking for things. And we expect really wonderful things for the future.
Well, it's my pleasure and my honor. You're welcome to come back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you once again for joining us on the Engaged by Design podcast. This time with our guest, President Bruce Kusch of Ensign College. I hope you learned as much as we did, especially about the 3-year degree and about innovation in higher education, especially for those students who are looking for the skills that will help them to contribute to their community and earn a living for their family.
If today's conversation gave you a useful takeaway, please follow, subscribe, and share this episode with a colleague. And if you have a moment, a quick rating or review helps more listeners find the show. Until next time, stay engaged by design.